more than 1 billion cars in this world of ours. From electric gliders to power sliders. And pretty much everything in between. I'm Tiff Needell.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Whoa.
And with my good friend Paul Woodman.
Eat my dirt, Needell.
Plus a few fellow car lovers. We're on a mission to bring you the fastest, loudest, most exclusive cars on the planet. Oh, and this lot too. From high peaks to millionaires' retreats, our quest has taken us far and wide. Stopping at nothing to bring you the ultimate automotive experiences. On the road today, Sid's on a mission from Monte Carlo to London in an ultimate continent crusher.
One thing this car is dominated by is the engine, that supercharged V8.
Paul attempts to tame a mighty Italian beast.
The little slick downshift and open up the throttle and feel all of those 15 to 20 horsepower throbbing beneath my seat.
Fashion star Maya Malnar drops in to drive a Rolls-Royce with a difference.
This has to be the world's most luxurious SUV and probably the best way to get up this mountain.
We find out what happens when a tiny caterpillar meets a prancing horse.
It's the baby of the range, but it's probably the most important Ferrari in the range.
And we even find time for a quick getaway to the great British Seaside.
Are you sure this is legal, Paul?
But first, the hills are alive with the sound of V12s.
Today is a very special day for us because we're about to drive one of the rarest, the most beautiful cars ever made. The Aston Martin Vanquish Zagato shooting brake. Only 25 of the 99 made were right-hand drive, so we're very lucky to have one of them here.
But we're even luckier than that, because we haven't just got one of them, we've got two of them.
That's well over £1 million worth of exotics right here. They're the result of the latest collaboration between Aston and Zagato. Both are based on the Vanquish and both are shooting brakes, meaning there's enough boot space for your weekend essentials. But who or what is Zagato? It's time for one of Uncle Tiff's history lessons. Pay attention at the back.
2019 is the 100th anniversary of Hugo Zagato setting up his coach building and repair company in Milan. He was a pioneer of using lightweight construction materials from the aircraft industry to improve a car's performance. And during the 1920s, he was asked by Alfa Romeo to work on their racing cars, and soon had a queue outside his door of manufacturers wanting him to improve their cars' aerodynamics.
The company was passed down through the generations and is now run by Hugo's grandson, Andrea.
Over the last 100 years, they've worked on cars from 25 different manufacturers. Of the 90 different models they produced, over 1/3 were for either Fiat, Lancia or Alfa Romeo. But their fourth biggest customer, ahead of the likes of Ferrari and Lamborghini, is Aston Martin.
The first Aston to get the Z treatment was the 1961 DB4 GT Zagato, raced by the late, great Sir Stirling Moss, one of the finest looking cars of all time. 6 decades on, can Aston and Zagato still conjure up that same old magic? To answer that, let's see how Paul's getting on.
All four of the current Aston Martin Zagato cars, the Volante, the Coupe, the Speedster, and of course, this, the shooting brake, are based on the Vanquish S, and they all have this incredible naturally aspirated V12 engine with 600 horsepower that just sounds it sounds incredible. You don't need me to talk, you need to listen to this.
I'd listen to that V12 over my colleague any day. Now, you can't talk about Zagato without mentioning the Mille Miglia, the treacherous 1,000-mile road race held on Italian country roads in the 1950s, before it was banned for being too dangerous.
In 1938, there were no fewer than 36 Zagato-bodied cars on the start line of the Mille Miglia. Just 2 weeks after the owners of this car collected it from the Bristol dealership, they headed off to Brescia in Italy to contest the Zagato Tributo class of the Mille Miglia. They then popped into Milan for lunch with Andrea before heading back home again. Now that's the sort of owners we like.
And the owner of this car drove it from the UK to the Nürburgring, where he was expecting to do a nice relaxed parade lap ahead of one of the 24-hour races. Unbeknown to him, he only had 10 minutes to do it in, so he had to lap the famous Nordschleife in this car, worth about $1 million in sub 10 minutes. The colour of this car is golden saffron, which is the launch colour of the Aston Martin Vulcan. And what the owners tried to do is tried to bring the outside colour inside, and this really shouldn't work. There's so much going on with two different colours inside, and you've got this very light coloured wood as well, but it works beautifully. He's a braver man than me, but my goodness, it looks absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. What a car to be driving. There's something about this car that's just making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It's not the most expensive car I've driven by some way, and it's definitely not the fastest, but it's just something incredibly special about driving this Zagato shooting brake. It's like a piece of art.
There is, of course, one downside to driving a Zagato, because the more time you spend behind the wheel, the less time you can spend just staring at it. I mean, just look at them. These cars truly are works of art. And so for once, we were glad to pull over and get out of the driver's seats.
What a pair of absolutely stunning cars.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
But the front end very much standard Vanquish, really.
Not really. You got the 3D Z motif, the logo
Grille.
throughout the grille. This is a standard grille, but you can get an optional extra milled aluminium, £50,000 extra.
Very smart splitter there. That looks like it's got a bit of aggressive downforce. And, I know this, a red colour under the Aston Martin for the Zagato wings.
Exactly. Normally the Aston Martin wings are black or green, as you know.
Otherwise, Vanquish headlamps, Vanquish grills.
Yeah, but don't forget, so if you say Vanquish, which it is, however, the Vanquish is made out of aluminium, but this is made out of carbon fibre, so all this is under the skin is carbon fibre.
Now, I know this, gold means Villa d'Este package.
Exactly, Villa d'Este, and it gets carried through into the inside as well. I think it looks good.
But can I have a gold Z to go with my gold package?
No, you can't. In fact, you can personalise your car however you want, but you cannot change that. That's got to stay as is. We can't. Don't be a spoiled little brat. You can't do that. Look at that back end. That is just so beautiful. And you've got the double bubble roof as well.
What double bubble?
What do you mean, what double bubble? You know about double bubble.
Very slight double bubble.
No, I mean, it's just for maybe, it's more for aesthetic now for sure, but came in the 1950s. Racing drivers could get their helmets on a bit better.
They're not Vanquish taillights, are they?
Came from the Vulcan. They're the LED blade taillights. I think they really suit this car a lot.
Inside the boot?
They're nice inside as well, aren't they? That's got carbon fibre on the tray. This one's got leather. You wouldn't fit that much in them, but...
A sort of carbon fibre barrier to stop your bags rushing forward. I thought you'd better sleep in the back. They look so long.
I probably could, actually, I'll be honest with you.
Can we get back to driving them again now?
I quite like looking at them, actually.
We're going to drive them again.
They look great. Start it up then, let me hear it.
For a while now, Jaguar's Special Ops team have been knocking out superheated versions of the company's sports cars and saloons. Now though, they finally got around to making a proper performance version of their flagship SUV. And here it is, the F-Pace SVR. All 550 horsepower and 75,000 pounds of it. Now you join me on the French Riviera. As glamorous as it is, I'm not here for long because I've been tasked to deliver this car back to London in the UK. It's 1,000 miles from here and I've got to do it in 24 hours, so I better get cracking. With mountains, motorways and a ton of miles to cover, this is a journey tailor-made for a big Jag. First though, there's just enough time for a lap around the world's most famous street circuit, which, it turns out, isn't quite as quick as it looks on telly. Not when there's a bus in your braking zone. So unless it's Grand Prix weekend and your name's Lewis, you're better off getting out of town and heading for the hills. So, under the bonnet we have the well-loved 5-litre supercharged V8. It makes 550 horsepower and it does 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds. Now, put it this way, it's just as quick as an F-Type coupe, and it's an SUV. To help deal with all that extra firepower, Jaguar's beefed up the suspension, recalibrated the 8-speed gearbox and fitted bigger brakes. They've also turned up the volume. One thing this car is dominated by is the engine. That supercharged V8. It's so nice, and when you get up into the high RPMs, you can hear that faint whine of the supercharger. My only little criticism is you don't get to hear much of that supercharger whine. Jaguar, sort that out. After the twisting roads of the Route Napoleon, it was time for a quick break and to have a look at the SVR from the outside. Now, normally with performance SUVs, they are quite in your face and a little bit ostentatious, but with this one, I've grown to like it. Obviously, it's each to your own, but it looks rather cool and elegant. In fact, very British. In fact, unless you have an unhealthy fascination with the design details of the regular F-Pace, you might not even notice the bigger air intakes at the front, the bonnet vents, the vents along the side, or the new pop-up spoiler, although a tenor says you've spotted the massive alloys and the quad exhausts. But enough of all that. With London still 700 miles away, it was time to hit the auto route and to find out if the hardcore SVR can do long-haul refinement. And when you're on the French motorways, this car is surprisingly comfortable. It might be an out-and-out, all-terrain performance machine, but you knock it in D, set everything to comfort. I've got a lovely heads-up display, I've got lane keep assist and radar cruise control. This is a car that you can just put lots of miles on. And here we are on our final approach to London. So, what do I think of it? I adore it. From that supercharged V8 to the quick-fire gear shifts and even the way it looks, the SVR really does do a pretty good impression of a sports car. It even has these slimline lightweight seats, cleverly disguised under all this luxury leather. This is a special car from a special ops team who really know their stuff. Not just that, it's still a proper Jaguar in the sense of you can do long distances and travel in great comfort. The 1,000 miles since Monaco have gone by in a blur. Give me one of these over a cheap flight any day of the week. It hasn't been completely perfect. The touchscreens could react a little faster and some of the materials aren't quite what you expect of a £75,000 car. But the SVR has still gone straight to the top of my super SUV wishlist. And unlike some of its oversized rivals, it even fits in your average British parking space too. Result.
I'm in northern Italy, in the Dolomites, in the South Tyrols, and I'm in this very nice Land Rover Discovery HSE Lux. These roads are so spectacular. Around every single corner there seems to be another, even more spectacular vista. Beautiful mountains, blue skies, and very windy roads.
Even this Land Rover Discovery, a hulking 2.5-ton SUV, is loving these endless twists and turns.
Even though these roads, these epic roads, are very tight, the car doesn't feel very big, although this steering wheel feels absolutely huge. But overall, the interior is very nice. The seats are super comfortable. I still don't know why Land Rover put this in their cars, but I guess tradition and heritage is a good thing. But it's a type of car that you get out of even after a very long stint, and you're not doubled up, your back's not in pieces. It's a very comfortable driving position, and you've got this fantastic visibility all around as well.
And with views like this, I'll take all the windows I can get, thanks very much. But enough about the Discovery. I haven't come all this way to tell you how a massive Land Rover goes around corners.
I'm here to talk about an Italian institution, and you may think of Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati or Alfa Romeo, but I'm talking about a very different motoring experience.
It's called the Ape, and it's made by Piaggio, the scooter people. You see them all over Italy buzzing around vineyards, delivering bread in tiny old villages. But these aren't just any Apes. These are modded, hot-rodded super Apes.
I'm beginning to wonder what I've let myself in for here, but one thing is going to be fun. Well, it certainly looks like fun. This is the oldest of the lot. This is built in 1994. It's got a single headlight at the front. The attention to detail that these owners go through is incredible. And no better place to show you than this one, where you have all the suspension and the chassis. You've even got a bit of a cross structure here for a bit of extra rigidity. And the reason being, this Piaggio Ape apparently will do over 100 kilometers an hour, which is just a bit crazy, really. I don't think I would be brave enough to do that, but the owner built this himself. Everything was done by the owner, and they have a real pride and passion in what they do. Now, any car fan that goes to a car show knows you should never park out of line, as this one is. Fortunately, I don't even need to reach for my keys. Very simply, to get it back in line, oh, whoop-la! Job done, easy as that. And this one is my ride for the day, and I got to say, I'm very excited. I think perhaps I got the best of the bunch. I don't know. Am I looking forward to this? I'll tell you in about 10 minutes. Ape actually means bumblebee, and you can see where they get the name if you open the throttle up a little bit. And I've just got this little rearview mirror of a whole group of Apes behind me. As I knock out a few more fillings, all of these Piaggio Apes are so different. They're very personalised to their owners. Like in any country, you have a tuning scene, and this scene is very popular in these mountains, in this region. And I can see why. It's just fun. It's just an inexpensive way to have fun and make something very personal to you. This, the owner, he's got an incredible metallic paint job that you'd be very happy to have on any luxury supercar. Not that this is luxury, and it's definitely not a supercar, but it's a lot of fun. Piaggio still sell this model. They stopped making it a couple of years ago, but then they brought it back because of popular demand. And it's a real working vehicle for farmers and for people up in the mountains. It's incredibly popular in this part of northern Italy. The standard Piaggio Ape is a staggering 4 to 5 horsepower. This one is about 4 or 5 times that amount. I have to dodge a big looking bus. I'll downshift, a little slick downshift, and open up the throttle and feel all of those 15 to 20 horsepower throbbing beneath my seat. What a laugh! What a lot of fun! Top speed of actually about 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles an hour, and I was doing about 60 k's there. And it felt like I was doing 160 miles an hour. Such a funny feeling. Would I buy one? Not a chance on this planet. Do I appreciate it? Absolutely. Well, that was definitely one of the more unique driving experiences I've ever had. Let's face it, the handling was pretty awful, the ride quality was diabolical, and the acceleration isn't exactly going to win any world records. But the fun factor was off the scale. It put a big smile on your face, and that's what it's all about. You don't need to go and spend hundreds of thousands of pounds to have a good time in a vehicle, which this three-wheeler certainly gave me. And I like the community behind it as well, the fact that these guys had a good time, and they must see it quite often, and everywhere we went, people were putting their thumbs up, smiling and beeping their horns. But I'm telling you one thing, I'm not driving this home. I can't wait to get back in the Land Rover. Comfy seats, nice and chilled. Oh, please, where are the keys?
This is the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, the first ever SUV from the purveyor of the world's finest motor cars. It costs almost £300,000 and is billed as the most luxurious 4x4 ever. So of course, as someone who enjoys the finer things in life, I couldn't wait to drop in and give it a whirl. Unfortunately for me though, the powers that be had other ideas. Meet Maya, who I'm assured is here to tell us everything we need to know about this landmark car. You see, this is a new, glitzy kind of Rolls, one that needs a new, glitzy kind of reviewer, not some old racing driver from Hampshire. So instead of old Uncle Tiff, they invited an Instagram influencer. So take it away, Maya. This one's all yours.
Here we are in the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and we're off to do some exploring.
Exploring a posh ski resort, that is. But I suppose this is the Cullinan's natural habitat. Anyway, sorry, Maya.
So I'm coming from the world of fashion and looking at the car from this perspective. I have to say it's like very unique and different, and this is what we like normally.
We'll have to take her word for that. Not sure about that colour, though.
I mean, not necessarily everybody likes the color. Like me personally, I think it's amazing, and I just like to stand out in a way, and with this color you definitely do. But of course, like everybody has its own taste, so many people for sure not like it. But I think it's very special, very like elegant, chic.
Yes, sorry, me again. I should just point out here that purple isn't the only option. In fact, Rolls-Royce will paint it almost any colour you like, all 44,000 of them. But anyway, sorry Maya, all yours again.
I really like the interior of the car. Like seriously, I feel like they really paid attention to every single detail, from the stitchings over here in a purple. It's so nicely matching the outside and everything.
I think what Maya's saying is that in this case, 300 grand buys you some serious bling. Forget the options list, those are for commoners. All you have to do is ask. Champagne coolers, whiskey decanters, onboard humidors, anything goes. Sorry, Maya, you were saying?
The car weighs 2.6 tons and it's enormous, but to be honest, it's actually really easy to drive and very smooth. The car is crazy fast. It goes from 0 to 62 in 5.2 seconds, which is incredible, consider how heavy the car is.
That, of course, is because under the bonnet and behind that famous Pantheon grille is a 6.75-litre twin-turbo V12 making 571 horsepower and 850 newton-meters of torque from as little as 1,600 RPM. Put that in your Instagram caption.
And it's very practical as well. It's very like a typical Rolls-Royce, but it just feels like it has a little bit of like the ruggedness. He can probably handle pretty much everything you throw at it.
And she's right. In fact, this is the first Rolls in history to get four-wheel drive. In off-road mode, the suspension raises by 40mm for extra ground clearance, and it'll wade through over 1/2 metre of water, or just some ski resort slush.
It's a very clever car. The gearbox, it's linked by satellite, so they basically detects where you are, and when you're going up the mountain, it adjusts and accommodates you.
Now we're talking. In fact, that 8-speed ZF automatic is so sophisticated, there's no option to change gear yourself. Think of it as a gear-shifting butler, which, thanks to that sat-nav link-up, knows exactly when Sir needs another cog, or indeed Madam.
And you really notice it around these hairpin bins. It just feels very smooth and stable.
Yes, not just four-wheel drive, but four-wheel steering as well, for super sharp reactions. And okay, I admit it, these Instagrammers really know their stuff. This is proper journalism.
And we're having such a beautiful sunny day, amazing scenery, and I'm so happy to be driving up this mountain in this amazing car.
So close. Oh, I guess there's still a job for me after all.
This has to be the world's most luxurious SUV and probably the best way to get up this mountain. But is it the best way to get down the mountain as well? I'll let you decide.
And there she goes, Eddie the Eagle's Slovenian cousin. That's it, back to your chopper. I mean, honestly. She didn't even mention the suspension, double wishbones at the front, a 5 links set up at the rear. Then there's the boot space, 560 litres of it to be precise, and the torque vectoring. Not to mention the electronically controlled clutch behind the gearbox, which can divert up to 50% of the power to the front axle, although a shaft and differential.
Ferrari's prancing horse. Arguably one of the most famous logos in history. It's right up there with Nike's swoosh, McDonald's golden arches, and Apple's, well, Apple. So famous, in fact, that it's been printed on more baseball caps and t-shirts than on actual cars.
If you're a fellow petrolhead like myself, of course, you're going to know what a Koenigsegg or a Pagani is, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people have got absolutely no clue, but I guarantee those people know exactly what a Ferrari is. The name is, quite literally, one of the best-known brands anyone's ever heard of.
It's also one of the most unobtainable, a lottery-win fantasy, or one for celebrities and the super rich. Or is it? This is the Portofino, the entry-level Ferrari, the cheapest ticket to a new prancing horse experience.
It's the baby of the range, but that really doesn't do it any justice at all talking about it like that, because it's probably the most important Ferrari in the range.
The Portofino is the company's best-selling current car and brings in thousands of new customers, introducing them to the exclusive world of Ferrari ownership.
So it's a big part of Ferrari's business, and driving the car you can understand why it's incredibly versatile. It's a car that quite literally you could use every day, and thinking about using a Ferrari every day 20 years ago would have been pretty much unheard of, other than the real diehards. But this really is an everyday, practical, usable car.
But don't think this usability means the Portofino has gone all soft. For a start, how does 600 horsepower from a twin-turbo V8 grab you? That's only 20 shy of the 599, a V12 range topper until 2012.
And it does, of course, bear some resemblance to the outgoing California T, but it's a big improvement in a lot of areas, such as it's lighter, it's stiffer, the undertray of the car is now aluminium instead of plastic, just making it a bit more rigid. The A-pillars had 21 different parts in the California T, whereas here, it just molded 2 pieces together to make it more rigid and stiffer. It looks a lot better as well. The California T just to look a little bit squashed for me. But this looks like a proper Ferrari. It looks like a baby 812.
So just how much is the cheapest Ferrari these days? Well, the Portofino starts from about £168,000. And yes, I know that's not exactly pocket change, but there are Audis costing more than that. This is a Ferrari. Although, of course, you'll probably want to tick a few boxes on the options list too.
This particular car's got the carbon pack with carbon paddle shifters and a bit of carbon on the exterior as well, bigger wheels and a few other bits and pieces. You've got the passenger display as well, which is an optional extra, which gives the passenger the ability to see how fast you're going, what you're doing, and how scared they should be in the car.
And so by the time you add all that up, you're looking at around £180,000 or more. But don't let that put you off, because Ferrari have come up with a way to help keep those dreaded supercar running costs down.
The car comes with a 4-year warranty, and it comes with 7 years unlimited mileage servicing. So you can get your car serviced for 7 years free of charge. There's no other car manufacturer in the world that does this, let alone a luxury supercar manufacturer. It's unheard of.
A generous warranty, a sensible service plan. Next thing you know, I'll be telling you it's comfortable to drive. I'm on some fairly bumpy roads at the moment and I'm in sport mode. You can actually opt to have the dampers a little bit softer if you want to. Car's got a bit of stick saying the steering's too light and maybe there's not that much feeling, but I couldn't disagree more. The car is spot on, whether you're an experienced driver or just a driver that likes to go to the supermarket and do some shopping. This car really does fit all. So it's great looking, easy to drive, and has 4-seat practicality. But hang on a minute, this is a Ferrari we're talking about, not a Fiesta. Can it still set your world on fire like a supercar should? Competitors to this car include the Bentley Continental GTC, the DB11 Volante, you've got McLaren, you've got Lamborghini. But I think Ferrari really is in a bit of a class of its own. I'm a big fan of all cars. I had posters of Lamborghinis on my wall since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, but there's just something very special about Ferrari. And I have to say, there is 100% no question that the best view in any sports car is looking down at this big Ferrari rev counter and coming back and seeing the Ferrari prancing horse on your steering wheel.
Now here's a threesome you don't see every day. The Toyota Supra, the BMW Z4 and the Morgan Plus 6. 1 coupe, 2 roadsters, 3 wildly different personalities. The Japanese street fighter, the German gym bunny and the Old English sheepdog. Although there's more than one thing they have in common.
This is the Morgan Plus 6. It has a 340 horsepower turbocharged straight-six engine.
This is a BMW Z4 M40i, which has a 340 horsepower straight-six turbocharged engine.
This is the new Toyota Supra. It has a 340 horsepower turbocharged straight-six engine and a ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox.
Yes, they've all got the same BMW power plant, meaning it's the first turbocharged car in Morgan's long history.
There's absolutely no question that this is an exciting new era for Morgan. This, the latest and greatest in the Plus series that stems way back to the 1950s, is a completely different direction for the company. A company that started building cars way back in 1909, famously with a little three-wheeler built to cruise around the Malvern Hills, and a car that we still see on the roads today.
And although it might look like every other Morgan that came before it, underneath there's an all-new, all-aluminium platform. And you thought Morgans were just made from balsa wood and Pritt stick. BMW, on the other hand, has always been at the forefront of car technology.
This Z4 is actually the 6th generation of BMW's Z cars, which began with that quirky Z1 back in 1989, which had those sliding doors that could drop down at low speeds. The Z actually comes from the German word Zukunft, with apologies for my German pronunciation, which in German means future. So these are the BMW future cars.
The previous Z4 had a folding hardtop. This one, however, has a fabric soft top to save weight and lower the centre of gravity. So it's a proper roadster, unlike the Supra, which, like the original, is still very much a coupe.
A brief history on the Toyota Supra then. Well, it started out in life back in 1978. The idea of it is basically to build a front-engine rear-wheel drive sports car that was relatively affordable. Fast forward it to today, and the Supra has returned back, and it's such a joy to be in it.
All very well, Sid, but what about Toyota's deal with BMW? These cars share more than just an engine. I mean, look at that dashboard. Remind you of anything? Your Supra is basically a Z4 in new clothes. Ninja clothes, admittedly, but the point is that Toyota isn't the Japanese thoroughbred it used to be.
OK then, Paul, what's the plan then?
Today's going to be a fun day. The sun's out, going to go to a few different locations.
Right, so what's the first location you have in mind?
First one's easy. I think first one's got Sid's name written all over it. Second up, just some country roads, a bit like these. And then we're going to go to an English seaside resort.
That sounds more like Morgan territory. Although I think the BMW and Supra still both enjoy a day out at the seaside. Anything else on the menu?
Lads, you've both been saying to me we need to have a race, we need to get a track, but at the end of the day, if you're lucky, I've arranged a race between us all.
Are you up for that then, Sid? Always up for it.
I know how competitive you two are. I want a nice clean race at the end of the day, okay?
No chance.
But first, to warm up our tyres, I'd lined up a little challenge at one of the country's top motorsport venues, with absolutely no expense spared.
Where is Paul taking us?
What, you're taking us into a field?
They don't know what it is. You might have noticed there are some bollards strategically placed. We're going to have a dead simple sprint through the bollard slalom, turn around at the end, sprint to the end, reverse into the garage.
Back in the garage.
We'll keep
I
it in
like
this
that.
order. I'll go first.
Fine,
Happy?
cool. I'm getting my car out of the way.
So am I. Ready, Paul?
I'm ready.
Tiff?
Yeah.
Cool, ready, and go!
Oh, good start.
Quick through there.
He's scaring himself.
Just flick it a little bit.
Oh, this is looking good. Oh, he's held that. Well done. We better Tiff, get out of the way. He's coming for us.
We've got to get out of
Oh, that was good. Come on, get in reverse. Stop the clock.
23.36.
With Paul's time safely in the bag, it was time for me to show the boys how it's done.
You all ready, Tiff?
I'm good to go.
23.36 to beat. No pressure. Okay, on Sid.
Right then. You ready, Tiff? And go.
Oh, good launch through the coast tight. Nice response, sport suspension. Give it a bit of flick out the other way. Power it round. Oh, a bit too wide. I've gone too wide. I've gone too wide. I've gone too wide. I've gone too wide.
He's got very wide there.
Good. Oh, this
What
does
about
look
going
quick.
in the
This does
garage
look
now?
quick now.
Swing it round. Understeer.
Where am I going to make some
No.
time?
Oh, it is.
I need a handbrake.
Stop. What was it? Oh.
Not bad.
He's had enough. He's done for the day. It did look good, Tiff.
You look good.
It looked really good. Just wasn't that quick.
And if things weren't bad enough, it was time for Sid and the smoking Supra.
Are you ready, Sid? Are you steady? Go!
Goodness sake. Oh, look at
Oh, I can't help but to...
What's he doing?
He's never going to beat you doing this. Where's he going now? Where's he going? Where's he got that idea from?
I just couldn't help myself.
Where does he get it from? I don't understand where these kids of today learn how to do burnouts and light the tyres
I
up
don't know
like
who
that.
set that sort of
I have
example.
no idea. Where did you learn that from?
Yeah.
Just, you know, a few videos.
Come on, let's get on the road. That's enough
What
of
was
that.
his time?
The time's irrelevant, about 3 minutes.
With our tyres nicely warmed up, it was time to see what our cars were like in the real world. Starting with Paul in the hand-built Morgan.
That was a little bit of fun, and I'm not really one to gloat, but I have to say it's always nice to beat Tiff Nadell, especially at his own game. And I was quite pleased for the Morgan because it's fair to say it's different to the other cars, but this isn't far behind. I think the looks can be a little bit deceiving. It's still, of course, got the same engine and gearbox, but also when you look around, you see a lot of newer things as well that perhaps you wouldn't typically associate with a Morgan. This digital speedometer right in front of you, for example.
There is a bit of a snag though, because while the other two will set you back around £50,000, the Morgan requires rather deeper pockets.
The Plus 6 starts at a shade under £78,000, significantly more than those other two. And this particular car, the Launch Edition, will set you back £89,000. But I think it's a different car. I think it's a completely different proposition.
Because despite the modern mechanics and the 21st century updates, this is still a properly traditional sports car. Only 300 will be made every year, and all completely by hand by master craftsmen in Malvern, not by robots in Germany. The The Z4, on the other hand,
The more I drive this new BMW Z4, the harder I'm finding it to criticise anything. As you'd expect, there's quality materials everywhere, a really solid build quality, the most comfortable seats that are holding me in the perfect position.
Unfortunately, though, they've gone and given it that new digital dashboard from the 8 Series.
And whilst it's suited the 8 Series, it just doesn't seem right on this little Z4. I want 2 round dials, one with speed, one with revs. I want a manual gearbox. I want more noise. That's what I'd really like.
In fact, you could say the Z4 is more of a refined cruiser than a true sports car. But what about its not-so-distant cousin, that Supra? Surely that's more fast and furious.
Do you know what? It's good. Even though this car is a sports car, it actually rides really well, especially on these bumpy B roads. This car does feel fun, it feels light, it feels nimble, and it's also got GT credentials. In fact, this car feels pliant and comfortable, and it just feels nice in your hand.
So, the best of both worlds then. But enough of the sensible road test stuff. We had a race to think about.
So, Paul, I'm still interested in this race later. Are we getting any nearer that?
It's not all about speed, lads. Sometimes just sit back and enjoy the ride. It's not all about getting there as fast as you possibly can. It's how you get there, and I'm going to get there in style.
But we want to know about the race, Paul.
We're still trying to calm you down, Sid, after the flipping car park test.
Well, it's inevitable. I'm from Essex. You're going to show me a car park. I'm going to go and skid around it. It's just natural.
with all this talk of racing, the boys had forgotten something. I promised them a trip to the seaside, and that's exactly where we headed next. But of course, no trip to the seaside is complete without a gentle jaunt along the pier.
He's not serious. We're not going on the pier, are we?
I've got connections in this town, don't you worry.
Are you sure this is legal, Paul?
This is special. We've done some special things on this show, but this is pretty good, isn't it? This is right up there. What a day, what a grand finale on the Grand Pier Western Supermare.
Wonderful, wonderful. And all three cars, same engine, same gearbox, and yet such different characters as it turned out.
Completely different.
I mean, Sid, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure the styling of the Supra. I don't know if I can
really
handle it.
like it.
But you like it, don't you?
I do. I really do like it. It has grown on me. At first, I was thinking, oh, it's probably a BMW in drag, but no, it's got a personality all of its own.
Good to drive, nice.
Yeah, really nice, good steering feel, but it's got a great balance between it. Dare I say it, it's a bit of a GT car. You can do long distances in it. The ride comfort
And it
is on
spins
point.
its wheels quite well if you want to be a
Oh, yeah,
hooligan.
if you want to be a yobbo.
Whereas if you're not quite a hooligan, you're more mature. I mean, it is a consummate all-rounder. I was impressed, really, with how nice it was to drive.
Sporty?
Comfort, brilliant. They're not quite sporty enough. I don't like the way they're using that sort of 8 Series, the new dashboard. I want a couple of round dials.
I like it. It's funny, isn't it?
I like it as well.
But the 8-speed auto boxes as well, a little bit sluggish. The noise wasn't. It doesn't change down to. I want a proper gearbox. I want a manual gearbox choice, to be honest. But they're all disappearing, aren't they?
There they are.
I think the Morgan's crying out for it. It was quite a different sort of test for me in the Morgan.
Looked a bit bumpy, bumping up and down a lot.
Yeah.
I could see ride quality, and a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's got the charm as well, too.
It's got a lot of charm. I think that got more looks than anything else. Lots of the younger generation, like the Supra,
Yeah.
the BMW is just, no one was interested. Probably because Tiff was
I did get
driving.
annoyed. I did get ignored about it. They all turned heads. The Morgan turns the heads. It is surprising. I mean, it's just the same old car for so many. But
It's not the same old car, it's a completely new car.
looks the same
It's got
old
a different
car.
engine.
That's what Morgan live on. And there's so many Morgan enthusiasts all over the world will still love to have one and pay that extra premium.
So
Me?
which one?
I'm sorry, Supra's just too youngster funksty in style, so I'm going to go home in the BMW. See?
Okay. Supra. Can't go wrong. It's
He's
brilliant.
sold on the Supra. You can't take the roof down on your Supra.
Not
Oh,
bothered.
that was nice with
Not
this
bothered.
weather as well. I caught a bit of sun, actually.
Yeah, no, not bothered.
bothered.
Aircon, that'll do.
For me, I really want to say the Morgan because we absolutely destroyed you two in the sprint race.
Oh, it's just because you had a handbrake. You had a handbrake.
Exactly,
You got
we beat
lucky.
you. We beat you. It doesn't
Got
matter.
lucky.
But I gotta
We
say,
beat. It was the car.
I've got to say, I would take the Supra as well.
Oh, you. You're not that young anymore. It's no good. He's trying to get down with the kids, Sid.
I am. Look, guys, forget the
You'd be
cars.
taking a bit
Forget the
of
cars.
the
Follow
race,
me.
the
We've got a
race.
race.
What have you got about the race?
We've got a
What's
race.
happening with the sun's going
Follow
down?
me.
about this.
What?
Get rid of your ice creams. No, we don't need the cars. Come on.
Where's he taking us?
Of course we need the
Follow
cars.
me, lads.
How can you have a race without cars?
What the lads were forgetting is that Western Supermare isn't all about donkey rides and candy floss. I mean, how many seaside resorts have one of these at the end of the pier? Think of it as Silverstone-on-Sea. All great races have to start somewhere, right?